Hi, Alan, website below. Now I'm doing this the day after I did the first bit that you're about to see. What it is that with the last video, I recorded 3 sections that, hang on, oh, itchy head. I think it's about time for a sheep dip again. No, I missed 3 bits out. So I thought, well, I've got boards and I can sort of do it again. I've got time on my hands that I'll go back, and what I'll do is I'll start again. But I'm still going to continue with what I'm doing. That's not a problem. But there were little bits that I wanted to show you that I wasn't able to show you. So I think, to me, it's important that I would like to share everything with you about how I go around things. So I'm going to do another bass, which you will see me do in the video coming up. But so this is the day afterwards. The bass has dried. Hang on, let me just put my crutch down. And this is the bass that we did yesterday. As you can see, it's got quite a shiny surface, so I don't know whether I'm going to try and matte this down a little bit. I don't know. There's also a few little, can you see there? I don't know if that's, can that be able to pick up? Let's have a look, see what I can find. There's a few edges that have come up a little bit on the corners there, so I'm going to have to glue them down, which I will do. Then I'm going to take I'll take some sanding paper to it, and there's a couple of, excuse me a minute, oh, I do apologise. There are a couple of ridges here, there, that I want to get down, because you know what I like to do? I like to have as flat a surface as possible. I just had to look at myself there, oh, like, scary. Oh, sunbathing, yay! Just need some sun. So I'm going to inspect this. How can I put this? You need to put as much time. Hang on, let me put this down. You need to put as much time as you possibly can into getting the bass right. If you get the bass wrong, it's like anything that you make. If you don't have a good base or foundation, then whatever you build up on top of it is not going to be able to, stay there. So to me, it's very, hang on, where's my crotch? There it goes. So to me, it's very, very important that we spend as much time as we can getting this bass right and getting it done, so that when we come to work on it, we're not going to have any worries about it peeling or little bits coming off, or if you're going like 10 stages down the road. Because I mean, who says how many stages your project can have? Don't forget, each time you do something, that is a stage. So if you use one mask, that's one mask, then you use another, so that's another stage and another stage. So you build everything up. So I'm going to spend a good hour. I've got my sandpaper. Hang on. Here we go. I've got some sandpaper in here, ultra fine. Now this is the stuff that you can wash. So when you go to the DIY store, look for the sandpaper that you can wash. I mean, why throw things away? This is another one that, I know it looks daft, but you can wash it. And then I've got the old trusty sanding block. So I'm going to spend some time preparing this, making sure that all the ridges that are left, that were, obviously, because when we're going to wet paper, you're going to have ridges. I don't think you're ever, when you're doing something on like hardboard like this, on MDF, that you'll ever get a flat surface. Yeah, I don't know, but to me, foundation is prep. I know it's boring, but it's got to be done. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do next. I will switch. I might actually show you a little bit of me doing the preparation work. So I'm going to put the camera back in the trusty camera angles that Steven Spielberg wants, and I will do some more later on. Okay, right. As I say, let's get on with the show. Bye.
Bye. Hi, this is me. What, can you see me face? Anyway, I'll do a proper intro later. Well, after I've done this. Right, I am happy today, and so much so, I think, well, I don't think, I know I'm going to lay down another board. I feel good and I feel happy. So while I'm in this mood, hang on, let's just get this light over here a bit so we can throw a bit more light. While I'm doing this, I thought, well, record it, put it up there. Somebody might see, and okay, snazzy or what, eh? Scalpel, and just, I know you probably know this already. Ow, itchy head. Joe, when you've used them a few times, just squirt a little bit of baby talc in the, or any talc in the gloves. Not a lot, just a little bit. You'll be able to get them on and off dead easy, and also last them a bit of time. I've got my glue, which I use for doing the papering. Now this was, let me feel, it was up to there. You see, if I sort of that much there was glue, and then that bit there is water. I don't want it as like the other stuff that we have. I want this to be a little bit stronger because I'm going to be using a thicker paper. Now what it is that a while back I went on a car boot, and I just, best time for me car boot things is when they go shutting up shop and they go and get rid of everything. And I came across this book. It's an interest. Oh, it's got all prices here of everything, but it's dated 90. Well, it's ages old. So now a lot of the pages, some of them, oh, they've got teddy bears. As you can see, I've not really looked at this properly. Oh, teddy bears, teddy bears, teddy bears. Scan them. Oh my God. I wonder if I can scan them in. No, that's a bit too dark. Now, some of the pages are glossy. Oh, Tiffany. I've got a book on Tiffany glass. And as I say, some of them are glossy and some of them are the matte. So I've got to be mixing the two mediums. So, well, two. Now, is this a substrate or not? I always get that wrong, but I'm going to be mixing the ordinary paper, which has got a slight sheen to it. It's not newspaper. Oh, nice. This is nice. So, I'm going to have to get a knife. My trusty scalpel for this. So, and, bear with me, I forgot all about this. A metal knife, which is up here. A metal ruler, sorry, is up here, and it will help me cut out. So now again, another little tip for you is these are all from when I was doing graphic design days. Metal ruler, just put some masking tape on the back. That will help keep it still. Whereas if you put a thing, see how I slide, just a little bit of masking tape on the back, it gives it a bit of tea. Right then, I think I'm going to save these because I might actually do some painting with them and then use them in a future project. So, let's get some stuff that's not really up, tables and chairs, shall we go for? Yeah, let's go for tables and chairs, shall we? Right. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing on this one. Give you a bit of an idea. Right. Got my sharp knife. Whoops, that's a bit too close to that. Always cut away from yourself. Never cut to you. Now then. Looking at this, I might be able to get... Let's have a look at it. Right. It's been stitched in. So let me see if I can find the middle where it's been stitched. I put too much talcum powder on it, even a slipping. There, is that the middle? No. Is that? Let's lift it up and have a look to see. Yeah, there it is. That's the middle there. So, right, can we see the stitching there? If we just go, let's just lift that up and cut. I could do with this, because it's filthy. Lift up and cut. Lift up and cut. Now that should release these pages. Always put the cap on back. Right, let's go. Go back a bit. Now that should release these pages if I'm doing it, if I've done it right. But of course they've also glued. No, but it's given me them pages. There we go. Free. And then I presume that this one will have been glued. So take our knife and just go down the edge like that. Let's see if that's worked. I mean, I don't need all these pages that I'm taking out. I don't need them at all because I think I'll have plenty there. Right, there we go. We can actually, let's rip that. Whoops. Well, that saves that bit, doesn't it? One of these will come out. No, that's the beginning of the next stitched lot. But oh, let's have a look. Because I've released one, I pulled the thing out. Can you see? I think we might be able to just do that. There we go. And then we have the next lot. Now these are all they're glossy then, so let's put that there, put the cap back, put that there, and then I'm just going to pause you for a minute because someone's come to the front door, so I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. Now then, where were we? Right, we're going to use some of these because there are different they're different kind of textured papers. Now I don't know if I'm going to be ripping the sides or whether I'm just going to lay them down in a grid fashion. Which, oh well, I think that's told me that I'm ripping them all the sides, I think. Oh, hang on a minute, let's have a think. Alan, I know it's dangerous when I start thinking. Put that way before somebody falls on it and does a Game of Thrones on you. Hang on, let me get my crutch here. Do I have any of them scissors out? Right, well, I'm still here, I'm just busy yapping to myself. Oh, I did make myself a cup of tea, which is there, which I'll bring with me in case I get a bit dry in the mouth. Right. Anyway, talk about something else. Great news. 1st of June. First week of June, I go back in. I'll use that for flattening down. And I get my new metal knee, which I can't wait, because this plastic one's been doing me bloody head in. And I can't wait to get rid of it, so that I can then start. I shouldn't be weight bearing, but I am, which I know's naughty, and I do deserve slapping. But right, let's have a look. I've got some rulers here. Got some rulers. They're edge rulers. I know you're supposed to wet the edges before you rip them. But to be quite honest, I just can't be bothered. I was going to say another word, but thought, no, keep the language clean. So, what I'm going to do is, let's see what we need. Right, I'm not going to go over the edges, because I'm working on another way of, because what I'm going to start doing soon is pouring resin. And I've got to try and work some way. I missed a bit. This is gesso at the. I put a gesso. This is my MDF, which is this medium density fiberboard, and I've just put a coat of gesso on just to give it a tooth, because I don't want, because this will soak all the glue up. I just wanted to so. Yeah, I'm going to be putting a frame around of some sort. I don't know how or what, why, where, but that is the plan. So we're putting yay. Do you know what I think might be a good idea? If I'm talking to myself, I do apologise, I'm being rude, aren't I? Let's have a think. I might go and keep things clean. And when I say clean, will these fit in? No, damn you, trimmer. Right, love these trimmers. With that, with the right. If I just go there, I'm going to go quite structured with this, in a sort of kind of funny roundabout way. Right, so if I make a mark, 14.5 there, that's it. 14.5, right, okay. Right, can we be clever and do 2 at the same time? Can we? Yeah, I think we can. Yeah. 14.5. You know what's coming next, don't you? Can we do 3? Well, let's give it a whirl. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, I know. My thoughts exactly. Now, I really shouldn't be doing these with gloves on, because it's making everything trim. Right, that's that bit done. Oh. And then 14.5. Right then, should we do, let's just do 3 more, then I think we'll have enough. I hope this isn't boring you. I should really be talking about something while I'm doing it, shouldn't I? What should we talk about? How's the weather? What are you watching on telly at the moment? Game of Thrones here. Love it. However, they are being very, very naughty. Naughty. They're putting a lot of adverts in. So, which is not best pleasing, because we normally get adverts every 20 minutes, roughly. And what they've been doing is they've been putting them on every 10 minutes or so, which is not nice. I know that's something that I suppose you would love to do, but just HBO, do they have adverts? Because that's who makes Game of Thrones, isn't it? Right, what I'm going to do is I've just taken two pieces of paper because I'm going to add them into this. Just put that there. So I've just put. There we go. £15.5. There we go. It just gives me 4 pages to put in. Right then. I know this is like watching paint dry. I really am sorry. I just thought I'd... You know when you just feel like you just want to do something? Now then. Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. Shall we? Now some of them are not the same page, but not to bother. Do you know what? I think this is just going to case of just plastering them down. Right. Glue. Slurp of tea. Brush. Wet it a little bit, and then let's get this out there, shall we? Right. Pick a nice page, that'll do. Move to the edge. There we go, and then the next page. Right, let's put. Oops, it's gone. I think I put a bit too much on. What do you think, eh? Now, if I go quiet, I do apologise. I don't mean to. It's just that I can't really think and talk at the same time. There is a saying, but I won't say it. I shall let you all think about it. Right, as you can see, I've put a load of glue there. I'm not bothered about where it is. I'm more interested in putting down the papers and then building up. Now, it's bubbling up, don't worry. I'm not, you know me, afterwards I'll go in with a thingy. In fact, I think I put too much on here. So, you know, I don't like waste. So, there we go. Let's put what we can back. I'll probably have to get some more out and put some more down, but so I'm not overly bothered at the moment. I'm more about just getting the base down. Another reason why I'm doing this, I know a few ums, I know. You can't find a word, Alan, say Another reason why I'm doing this is that in the one that I'm doing at the moment, and I'm showing you, and I've done the, you know, I've uploaded the video about, we missed several stages for the simple reason is that I don't know what happened, but the video just stopped and I missed some important stuff that I wanted to share with you all. Right, I've just got to remember that I've got to keep the straight lines here. straight lines, because they're perfect for the edges. So right, I'm going to have to cut some more paper, I think. No, I might get away with it. I missed several stages of what I did. There's 3 layers of what I wanted to show you, and those 3 layers, they held quite a lot of information that I thought I should have looked before I was doing anything. That held quite a lot of information, which I just told you 3 times. So I thought, if I start again and this time do a video. See what it was, I was being clever. I did a video, left it, did another video, left it, did another video, without bothering to put it onto the main computer. I just thought, they'll be alright on the disc. Well, of course, what do they say about me and thinking? Right, scissors. Here, there's quite a bit of space there that I don't want, because I just don't want it. So, see, this is where I'm going to start putting some glossy paper down. Now that's okay, but I've got that bit there which I don't like, so let's just trim this down so it kind of equals that side. Let's put it there. And it's now, I told you I was going to have to get some more glue out. So, right, let's just get the roller out. Let's see if we can get it. We didn't want that, did we? Well, it goes to show, Alan, that there doesn't seem to be enough glue there. So let's put it out and then work that in, and hopefully this will not get wasted. Right, let's put another colour one up there, shall we? We've got no option but to trim this side down, and let's put it there. Right, we've got spaces here, so, oh, that's nice, I like that. So let's just go in with this one here and trim this to here and then put that there, because I like that. I hope that stays loud and proud, so to speak, as they say. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with my fingers. Just check that everything's okay. It's drying up a little bit, so let's put a bit more glue on. Right, so right, because I got Yes. Good. I've got I wonder if he says if I pull this up without tearing the bottom bit. No, it's beginning to stick, that, so leave that as it is. And then let's see where we're going now with these bits. Let's just have a look and see what we need to do. Well, we've got a piece there that needs to be filled. So I'm just going to take, do I take that as the border, and then that as the border there, and then cut to there. There we go. I think we've more or less got the pages, the canvas finished. It's covered. Oh, we've got a bit there. So let's see if we can find. Oh, we've got bada bada bing. We've got some beds here. So let's just cut like that, cut up, and then I kind of like the idea of there's some text there, so there's a line drawing here. So put this down, and then I like that line drawing there. And then we've got one bit there, which, yay, we can use this. Just trim. And secure. And there we have it. I'll be back in a bit. Right then, sorry about that. Front door again. I've done it. I put all the layers I want to put down. I've given it a good coat of my glue. Right, I'm hoping that if I've used this as the top layer to seal it, I might not have to gesso it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and not gesso it, and we're just going to work with this to see, because I think I said on the last one, just put a coat of your glue to seal the image, and then we'll take it. So that's what we will do, and we shall take it there. Right, I'm now going to shut up shop. I'm going to leave this to dry naturally overnight, so that come tomorrow we should be ready to, as you know, the next stage I'll do it. Right, first of all I'll do the proper instruction on the video tomorrow, so I'm talking to you. Then what we'll do is that I always then like to take some paints, and I just like to pick 3 colours, not bothered about the colour, and then we'll just throw 3 colours down to break up all the whiteness, so that we've got, we've got some colour down there. As I say, that colour does not dictate how it's going to finish. I don't know where this is going to go yet. I just felt that I needed to, whoops, doesn't matter, I can get me strong glue and do the edges. I just felt I needed to do another board and get it ready for doing some work, because I feel like doing some work, and I've not used this before. I've always used newspaper before, so it'll be interesting to see how this works. I've got my fingers crossed. I hope it go well. It seems to look okay. It doesn't seem, there's a few bubbles here and there, but there's ways around of beating bubbles. It's like the wallpaper when you do it. You prick it with a little pin and then put a bit of glue in. It should be okay. So, fingers crossed. I'm going to close up shop now. I'm going to go and watch Buffy, and I shall speak to you tomorrow. So, okay, cheers, until later. Bye-bye. Hi, back. Now then, what I've done to start off with is that I've just taken my crafting knife and I've just gone round the edges where some were, right, see a bit here. Let me just zoom in. There's, I don't know whether you can see, no, you can't see that there. Hang on, let me just move down here a bit. There's a bit there that's just overhanging, so I've just taken my craft knife and I've just gone along the edge and just made sure all the edges are nice and tidy. You know, I've got little bits like that came off. Because if I do it now, as I say, because this is the preparation work that needs to be done to get it all done, so by doing this it saves me a lot of hassle later down the line. Right, let me just get me chair out so I can sit down and I'm not and go like, oh, there we go. Right, now then, let's get to work, shall we? As I say, I've got some coarser sandpaper, but I think this will be a bit too rough for it, so let's go with, here we go. Got some wet and dry, don't know what number it is, it's 3M P240 SN1, SN2, I haven't a clue what these mean. Alright, they must all be different. Alright, that's a really thin, that's a P600, that is a P400, and I can tell there is a difference. And then we've got, these seem to be the 400 again, and a 240, that one, P240, so yeah, we want quite a fine one, so I think this 600 would be fine, I think. Right, so let's just, right. I can't work in big pieces. So, right, where I've got gaps and it's raised, I just want to, now that might be too, that is too soft, so I think we do need to go to the slightly thicker one. Well, not the thicker one, but the one that will give us more bite. Sorry if I'm wittering. This is a 240, so it's as much. Oh yeah, can you see how it's taking some of the. If I move this up, it might be better if I find a place that is. And then, can you see here, this bit, this is got so much rubbish that, why do we get so much rubbish? And it just seems to grow and grow and grow. I think that's going to fall. And it's going to be, there we go, right. Right, here, there's, I can feel ridges here. So, if I just, right, where's my finger? There. Should I move this forward a little bit? There we go. Right, along here I've got ridges, so I'm taking the sandpaper and I'm just going to take that down. I'm not bothered if I take some of the image off. That doesn't bother me. It's all about just getting rid of these ridges. And so just take your time. There's no rush. And where the paper has come up, I just want to make sure that it's, you know, it's reasonably flattened. Okay. Obviously we're not going to get it completely flat, but we will, if the wind's in the right direction, be able to get these smooth. You can see when you're rubbing, you can tell where the ridges are because they just show up. And so there's a lot more than I thought there would be, but it doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, this is just our base layer. Something to get the key. It's an awful noise, isn't it? I'm going to have to make a racket. And then, if you run your fingers, you'll feel the ridges. So, not a lot, just a little bit. Try and soften them if you can. Let's feel. Right, there's some more around here, so now I don't want to use a sanding block when I'm doing this because I want to be able to feel what's underneath. Right, you can see here, if I bring it up, I've can you just see that? I've just ripped that little bit there. Now what I can do is I can either sand that or I can try and glue that little bit back in, which I think I will do. So I'll be careful with that. And then I'll do a little bit of... See, this is the reason why I don't want to use a block, because I can feel with my hands where all the raised bits are. And I'll be able to tell when everything's at a level that I'm happy at. Obviously, I don't think we're going to get it completely smooth, because we'd have to take everything back to the wood if we did that. So, just move and get things ready. There we go. Right. I'm nearly finished. Again, while I'm doing the sanding, I'm checking all the edges. There we go. I'm checking all the edges to make sure any little bits like that don't get damaged, because I will glue that down again. And I can also take the time to just go along the top edge, if you can see that. Go along there. to get rid of any paper that's sticking out. I've also got to remember that little bit there, which we'll get to in a minute. There we go. Right, I think that's everything. So, if I just turn around and get my dry brush that I can use for. You'd be surprised how much comes off here. Now, what I can do as well is I can take a baby wipe to it and just give it a wipe over, which I think I will do. So put that back there. Right, we're going to repair these little edges. So I've got some high-tack glue. It's very good. It's very strong. This I don't use it on all over the place, but for these little bits that need a bit of TLC, they are perfect. Bear with me. There they are. Paper clip that I that's it. Just a little bit on there. Put that down where we want it. And then that glue will take it. There we go. Right. It's very strong, this, and it's very quick grabbing, which is why I like to use it when I'm just doing some touching up. Right. And some quick fixing. Oh dear. A bit too rough there. A little bit too rough on that one, Alan. Let's just put a bit of glue down, and that's, nobody would know. And then that bit's okay. I checked the edges. These seem to be alright. And then we just got this little bit down here to do. And that will grab it. Now, put the cap back on. Now we'll just take a baby wipe, and then we'll be surprised how much. Let's just come right out now. Oops, sorry, wrong way. No, we'll be surprised how much we take off this through giving it a wipe. So just give it a wipe over. There's not a lot off, but just means that we've got a clean surface, and I can feel that some of the places, especially around where the gloss was, the glossy pages, that they have taken the glue surface that we put on top very well. Now, what we're going to do now? Well, you know me, the next stage now is that we've got to get some colour onto here. And so, I think, and you know me, I like to work in threes, so I don't need my spares, which I had just in case. Let's think, well, just grab 3 colours, Alan. I've got my plate. Turn around here. Let's grab 3. 1, 2. Oh, I said in the other video that I bought what I think of sort of the basics when a lot of them were doing tints and glazes. They tended to have, don't need that, don't need that, that's not there, no. Yellow watercolour. ochre, white, obviously there's a standard burnt umber, red ochre, raw umber, raw sienna, cadmium yellow. Is that a... no, that's a bright yellow, which I should have guessed by that. Now, they seem to use these when they're making glazes, especially for the sort of the older glaze. I'll come forward a little bit so that we can see. These are the ones that I've noticed that they tend to use a lot of when they're making glazes to knock things back and to age things, to give that sort of, you know, with that it's been around a long time. So they tend to go, well, you know, don't pin me down and say Alan says we have to blah blah, but they tend to go for this kind of colour range to make them. There's a raw sienna opaque and a raw sienna. Now, I don't know whether you can tell, there is a slight difference in hue. Let's have a look. Now that is the... no, you can't see that. That is the raw sienna opaque. And then this is the raw sienna. Right, can you see the difference straight away? So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set some colours up and then I'll come right back. Okay? And I'll talk about it. I'll just go in the front door. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'll just let this thing in. So, right, unfortunately I had to sort of stop it quick and sort of go and do something. So, we are about to put some paint onto the canvas. So, I picked out 3. They're from the Basics range, which is sort of, they're a good quality, but hang on, let me just get my gloves on. They're a good quality, they're a very good brand, but they are Basics, they're no frills. So, and they're also very good coverage wise. So let's get a brush out, shall we? I must treat myself to a really nice big thick brush. Must have a look and see what I can come up with. Let's just right, what I'm doing first of all, I'm just getting some water into my brush. That way it'll make it easier to work with. There we go. And then a little bit of... now I like this paper because you don't just have to rip out a full sheet. You get half a sheet, which is great. Now then, what we're going to do and how we're going to go... oh, before I forget, hang on, let me just get this out the way. There we go. So we can have a... I hope you can see everything and that the lighting is okay. What would happen if I brought this a bit further down? Would you be able to... does that look better? Okay, right. First of all, let's just get a bit of water onto the surface. I'll just get it moving around a bit. This just helps when we're doing the paint, and it doesn't, you know, it just helps move it. Makes life that little bit easier. So there we go. That's the beauty of rubber gloves. And then that dry. Right. Let's put a splodge of yellow, a bit of blue, and a bit of red there. We don't want a lot. In fact, I think I might have put a little bit too much blue. So, never mind. Never mind, never mind. Right, we've put the bits of colour down. I hope you can see it. We've got one piece there, and one piece there. So we're just going to add the water. And then, let's start to move it. And everybody knows that red is always the hardest colour. It's the hardest colour to get rid of, or to overpaint. So if you paint your front room red, it's a bugger to get the red off and to overpaint it. Right, we've got these bits done. Let's just get this blue. Now it's mixed in there, you see. Never mind. I'm not going to quite go up to the edges yet. I'm not going over the edges. I'll go up to it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a baby wipe, and then the baby wipe is then going to become my brush. No, it's not quite. I can see the surface is it's just wiping off from the surface, so I don't think that the glue that we used, and it's also drying very quickly, which surprises me. It really does surprise me. I can feel it. It's pulling on the thing. So it's a good job that we're not really worrying about this layer. This is just a layer to get paint shifting and to give the rest of the paint a key. But it is not stopping. It's lifting up. I can feel it lifting. So I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, which is a shame, but I'm not going to be too bothered, because it will work its way out. Don't worry, in the end it will work its way out. But it has become a little bit what's the word I'm trying to find? It's not moving. It's like I can feel it dragging. I can feel it dragging. So let's just put a bit more red down here, shall we? Because that was the worst bit of all of it. So let's just clean our brush, shall we? Well, that's nice. I don't throw these away. Can you see how with the paint going, it's not sticking to it, is it? Can you feel? I get to a point and I'm having to drag it, literally force it. But let's hope that we don't have to go to the case of having to put some gesso on it. Not gesso, well, gesso would give it a key. We can put some gesso on now. In fact, bear with me, I'm going to try something. I've got a really cheap gesso somewhere. Oops, that's my phone on the floor. that I don't really use that much. So it's going to be interesting. That's clear gesso and the lid's not on. Oh, Alan, it could be dry. No, that's okay. Right, let's where's this cheap gesso, Alan? There it is. I'm going to try and do something. As you can see, things go wrong. They go wrong. So it's a case of, so what? Let's see what we can do. Right, this is not my cheap gesso. I've lost everything. Well, no, I've not lost everything. My head's not really here, so I can't remember where I put things. So, I wonder what would happen if I took some gesso. Let's take some gesso. I'm not taking a lot. Can you see I've just got a little bit here, and then I'm going to put the water in, and then I'm going to try and knock it. I'm going to try and make it into a single, like a single cream consistency. I want it very, very thin. My aim is just that little bit to go all the way over. Can you see how I'm knocking it right back to very, very, so it's very, very thin. Right. Because I've got a funny feeling that with having the PVA glue and on top of that other the paper that we had, that it's just not going to keep to the able to take the further layer surfaces. So I'm gonna, you see how it's even now, it's trying to move away from the thing, but we will persevere and we will get somewhere. I'm being quite firm with this. It's not. Let me turn it around. I'm not being gentle, is the thing, because I want to try and work up the paint that's underneath into the gesso that we're putting on top. Can you see how it's all like from there? I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's moving away with the glue underneath. It's not giving a proper foundation for us to paint on later. So we are going in and we're going to try and get a good, see that's better. See how it's just wiping away, it's not sticking to it, whereas with a little bit of gesso in the mix we are able to give it that covering that we're after. There we go. I think this is going to be a lot better. There. But I still have no qualms. Let's just add a little bit of the yellow, just so that I can give it a deeper layer. Oh, now can you see? I've just knocked it a little bit. Can you see how just that bit there? Can you see, if you look where the yellow dot is, just right above it is where I knocked it, and a little bit of the paint came away. So and we've lost some of the blue there, the blueness again. I'm just wiping it in here. So let's just put a bit of blue there, and let's try and bring some of the blueness back here. There we are. There we go. I just needed to bring some of that blue. But I don't want to hide all the paper that's underneath. I still need to keep some of that through. So let's just wipe it now. Let's use what we've got on the surface and bring it in. And then we'll go with a lighter touch now, because I can see it being pulled away. But I'm hoping now that with what we've done here, I can also see from the sides that it's not quite taken there. So I think we just need a little bit of red here. I'm not doing a lot, I'm just going to do a little bit, and I might as well just see if I can take anything all off the brush. There we go. Oops, and then there we go. I think we're going to have to let this dry now, because it's pulling. And it's, as I'm pulling it, I'm moving it away from underneath, and so it's not going to. I think that is going to be that. No, I don't want to do any more. I don't want to do any more now, otherwise I think I'm gonna just gonna pull it all off completely. So unfortunately, the glue that I used, which was this has got too much glue in, because the glue is forming that seal over the top. So I think I'm going to have to keep to my... There's nothing wrong with this, I'll just use this as normal glue, because I know that it does glue. And plus it's gone from there to sort of to there by using it, but I'm going to go keep with my 50-50, I think, because that I know I can put on top, and due to a large amount of water in it, it's not going to cause me issues later on. So that's that. We've done this, we've covered it. So the next stage now is I'm just going to let this dry, and then we're going to take it from there. I can still see some of the images underneath, so it's not lost. It's a lot darker, and it's not as opaque as I would have liked. But we've re-got our surface, we've brought it back into it so that we can use, and we haven't got the barrier. Well, we've tried to sort of bring that, we'll get around that. So yay for the sorting it out. we learnt about the glue, that it does have to be a watered down glue, but I put some gesso into the paint, so that then will give the paint a bit of a grit, and I should be able to then put colours on top of that. So I think we'll do a thumbs up on thumbs sort of there at the moment, sort of, you know, not quite, not up and not down, but or in the middle, sort of like a, I don't know, if you're looking at it, it's like about sort of a 10 o'clock thumb. So I'm going to stop this from now. I'm going to let this dry. I'm not going to force dry it. I'm going to let it dry naturally, because I think that's what it needs to do, and I will pick it up tomorrow. Okay, right, I say goodbye for now, and I'll chat to you soon.